मैडम मु रिकॉर्डिंग ऑन कर देछि आ 2-3 मिनिट पर स्टार्ट करिवे।
Good evening to all participants. I am Dr. Sabita Mishra, Department of Education. Now we shall start our today's assignment, that is, hello participants. Hello.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay, you
Good evening,
respond.
ma'am.
Otherwise, the online teaching will be boring one. You interact with me. Am I audible clearly?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay. Hmm. Uh, how many participants are there? Less number of participants. So, however, we will start our session. The MES-42. The title of this paper is Dimensions of Educational Management, and it has 3 blocks. And in each block there are 4 units. And today we shall cover 2 units. One unit is first unit policy formulation and policy planning, and second unit is organizational structure. So before going to the units, the very name is educational management at the national level, the unit 1, block 1, and under that we have to study unit 1 and 2. So, the first question is what educational management is. Do you have some idea about this? What is management? And then educational management? Anyone? Okay. Management, it is a very word used by all of us in different situations. So management is nothing but a process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling resources. I repeat it again. It is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling resources. And the resources may be human resource, financial resource, and material resources. Likewise, we are concerned with educational management. In the field of education, management is also essential, and management is so important in the field of education. Why? Now, without management, we cannot make anything systematic, we cannot have better outcome. So everything should be pre-planned, organized well, and it must have control units. So on the basis of this, we will proceed to our first unit of block 1, that is policy formulation and policy planning. Okay. Any problem? Do you follow me?
Yes,
Hello.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
If any problem, you will interact with me definitely. Otherwise, it will be monotonous. One-sided. Education is a bipolar process. Are you all are from education background or other background? Respond.
Ma'am, from education background.
Well, so it will be easier to understand. Not only for education background, all are PG students. So you can understand very well the system of education, what is going on in India and also our state. So what is the basis of policy formulation and policy planning? We'll start with that. So what is that policy? So I clear about the meaning of management. Now what is policy? Policy is a very simple word. We can say it is a purposeful plan of action. It is a purposeful plan of action. it intend to influence and determine decisions, actions, and other matters. Do you have some ideas about educational policies? Recently, you might have come across the word NEP 2020. Okay? NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020. So, what is that policy? Policy and laws both are not same. There is difference. Policy, it is a course of action intend to influence or determine the decisions, actions, and other matters. Whereas laws that prohibits our behaviors, rules and laws are completely different from policy. So coming to the next, educational policy. What is educational policy? Educational policy similarly, the decision, the course of action that is taken in the field of education. It is directly affect the education process that people engage in at all stages. We will discuss certain policies and programs so you can understand well. So, suppose for example, we have our policy in NPE 1968, National Policy on Education 1968, 1986. You have also commissions and committees, Kothari Commission 1964, Mudaliar Commission 1952. Similarly, many committees and commissions have been framed, formulated. Why? The question is now comes to our mind, why the policy commissions and committees have been framed? Any reply?
To
Interact with
develop
me.
education system.
Okay, okay. So, to have a developed pattern of education and to provide education to all, because education is the base on which different types of development of the individual depends. That's why policy is an essential aspect for the development of education of any nation. Now we come to the aspects that education, what is the first policy, and we will concern with the evolution of these policies. What are the policies and how it has been developed from time to time, and what are the basic need or essential to frame the policy or to formulate the policy. The basic thing it is essential to inform you that when a policy is formed, how many of you have idea that when national in education policy, national policy education policy 2020 was formulated in the year July 29. But before that, in 1900, 2016, 17, 18, 19, within these 4 years, many committees, commissions were organized, many workshops were organized, and also the different seminars, they have given their reports, the public have given their reports, and teachers from the ground level, secondary, higher secondary, and college level, from different sources, government has collected reports from the people, public, and also organized workshops, seminars, and collected reports, and compiling thorough discussions were also made in different fields, different regions, national level, state level, and also at the district level. After that, so, many issues were raised, and all these to finalize these issues, different meetings were held on that at the ministry level, at the central level, and after that, both houses of the parliament They were also held meeting on this on different reports. They held thorough discussions, and after that a policy was formulated. So in this way, years together it takes for the formulation of a policy for a nation. Okay, you follow my point? It is crores of rupees also spent for that. Many people and stakeholders' opinions are taken into consideration. Many issues are raised, and these issues are discussed, finalized, and how it will be fruitful. So, these reports are also prepared for that. So, after that, a policy come to becomes accepted. So similarly, when our different commissions and committees have been formulated, this process have been taken into consideration by the government, particularly during the then time. So we will go to the history of the different policies in India. Before independence, particularly in the ancient time, how a policy was formulated, particularly in the king. During the period ancient days, king was the administrator, and he formulated a policy by taking the advice of the advisors, and whatever he framed, that was accepted by the public. Then come to the Mughal period. In Mughal period, Babur, Akbar, the rulers, they were also interested to provide education to the public. Some issues were raised, but Akbar, the Hindu and Muslim education, he also spread during his regime. And then coming to the period of uh, East India Company, the British administration in our country, you might have knowledge about the how Oriental and Anglicist education was spread during the British regime. And next aspect is many things we come across different commissions like the Charter Act of 1813, East India Company spread the education by missionaries. Then in 1835, Lord William Bentinck and Macaulay's Minute, that was also the minute to Macaulay spread the education and took the policy that developed downward filtration theory. I think that you should know that how education during British period was implemented. And downward filtration theory emphasized on the class will be educated and they will and education will be filtered down from the class to mass. That means Britishers were not in favor of providing education to the mass. Rather, their aim was to provide educating only to the class. And the few people will be educated, and that will be these people will educate to spread education among the mass. So then, Wood's dispatch. It was, and the chairman was Charles Wood, and it was also a comprehensive report, and provision of granting aid was there, and education also he took steps to spread education for the Indians. But some of the recommendations, though good number of recommendations was made for the spread of education, but all were never carried out. The many recommendations were not also function. Then coming to the Hunter Commission, that was appointed. That commission was appointed in the year 1882 and 3, and Sir William Hunter was the chairman of that commission. Also, he recommended some the issues. He solved the issues of wood dispatch and recommended for the municipal board should be fixed to provide education to the primary and to the and development of school boards, and control of primary education was completely transferred to local boards, municipalities, and encouragement also was given to the private enterprise. Such type of recommendation was also made by that Hunter Commission. And then other commissions were the Gokhale's resolution. It was made in the in 1911, and then we come to our national movement and education, that is from 1905 to 1921. And many committees and commissions, they have given their recommendations for the spread of education, but in the spread of education also many issues arise, and to solve that, so particularly primary education was given emphasis on by Hartog committee in the year 1928, and in that Hatta committee also giving emphasis on the uh, development of the standard of teachers, strengthening the curriculum, and also the and local bodies should take steps to uh, provide primary education to the in that locality. Hatta committee strongly recommended for the spread of primary education. Then next we come to the national policy after independence. So you might have heard Article 45 of Indian Constitution. It is says that the state shall endeavor to provide free and compulsory primary education to all children within the age group 6 to 14 within the completion 10 years before the 10 years from the commencement of the constitution. So Article 45 of the constitution recommended for the free compulsory primary education, and that must be completed within 10 years from the commencement of the constitution. That means within in the year 1960 that must be completed. But what do you observe now? Many reformation has been brought in the field of the development of primary education. We have DP, EP, SSA, universalization of primary education, many programs. Still, we have not able to reach 100% literacy, which was the main goal of primary education. So now, after independence, Government of India established many commissions and committees, policies for the spread of education. In this context, I want to share you one thing. Gandhi, the father of nation, he realized that until and unless the people become educated, there will be no social and economic development. Other development cannot be possible unless people become educated. So he primarily emphasized on primary education first, then secondary and higher education. So for that reason, in the year 1937, he developed basic education, that is otherwise called Vardha scheme, Naitalim. So all these things he realized during his period, and that was given top priority after becoming our constitution framed in the year 1950, and Article 45 in that connection had given emphasis on primary education. Do you follow my point? Hello? Respond it.
Yes, ma'am.
If any problem, you will intimate me immediately. After independence, can you anybody answer that which commission was first appointed after independence? And what are
Radhakrishnan.
very good? Yes. The other name of that is University Education Commission. In which year?
1948.
1948.
Under the chairmanship of
Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan.
Dr.
Very
Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan.
good. Oh, all are well informed. Very good. So the recommendation, this is the first commission after independence. So I discussed all the commissions, but when your questions will come, particularly it will focus on ancient or Mughal period or British period, because policy has been framed in different time to bring development to the education of the people. But the ways are different and issues has been raised, and that issues to solve that issues one after other or year after year, several commissions, committees, policies have been framed. In this way, we we discussed about the evolution of the development of education. Okay, so now we will discussing about the after independence commissions. First, Radhakrishnan Commission. Particularly this commission, I am just giving you idea briefly, because 1 hour 1 unit. So if any doubt will raised in your mind, it can be clarified after this class or in the next class. Okay. So University Commission, the main aim of this University Commission is to bring development in higher education and to provide, to spread higher education among the people. Okay. So it is recommended for the medium of higher education and creating new universities and settle some aims of university, standard of research work, then administration of the universities. Completely it focuses on university education and raised the solution of all types of issues of university education. Okay. Next we come to secondary education. And secondary education, it is otherwise known as Mudaliar Commission, Secondary Education Commission or Mudaliar Commission. It was appointed in the year 1952 under the chairmanship of Dr. A.L. Mudaliar, Lakshman Swami Mudaliar. Okay, so it is from this commission had given a comprehensive report only on secondary education. Remember the particular concept that it was formulated only on, recommended only on secondary education. The all types of aspects or different aspects, what is needed, particularly at the secondary stage, what is the structure, what will be the curriculum, methods of teaching, the teacher's role, teacher's the qualification, duty of the teacher, and the aims and objectives, and languages will be used at this stage. On the different aspects only on secondary education, that was recommended and emphasized in this particularly secondary stage. And most important aspect is that why this commission had given much more emphasis on secondary stage. Remember one thing, secondary education is a bridge between primary and higher education. Many students who are the average students or the below poor performer, they do not like to continue higher studies. So, and particularly at this stage, commission recommended for vocational education. So, after this stage, along with general curriculum, they should learn some vocational skills. As a result of which, after completion of secondary education, he will able to engage himself in different that vocation and can earn for his own self and can support his family. That was the topmost priority given by this commission. And next is that National Policy on Education 1968. And in this 68 policy, particularly free and compulsory education was given priority, and Article 45 of the Constitution was also the free and compulsory education. It was given topmost priority, and for the spread of that education, it is also recommended on for the reading of regional language, three language formula. Then emphasis was given on equalization of educational opportunities, common school system, work experience and national service, and also the science education, research, agriculture and industry, then the examination, production of books, secondary education, university education. All these aspects are given emphasis in the National Policy on Education 1968. Then we come to the next policy, that is 1986, and its key features, it is quite broad, quite comprehensive in comparison to 1968 policy. 68 policy had not given had not covered different aspects of education, but 1986 policy, it has covered all the aspects of education, starting from pre-primary to higher education, women education, adult education, science education, technical education. Different educations were given emphasis in this policy. So it is considered as a comprehensive policy, and mostly 10 plus 2 plus 3 structure. All of you must come under that structure. I think that structure 10 plus 2 plus 3, it was recommended by National Policy on Education 1986. And more emphasis was given on the universalization of primary education, and many important aspects highly emphasized in this policy, particularly in the context of primary education, that is Operation Blackboard and midday meal, to distance of schools. Within 1 kilometer distance, school will be established. Midday meal provision will be there. As India is more than 70% people in India are living below poverty line, they cannot able to provide 2 square meals a day to their children. So how it is possible to provide education facility to their children? Rather, they will think to engage the children in daily wages. They will earn something for their belly and can support family. That's why midday meal provision was given emphasis for the to provide to encourage more students towards primary education. And now you see that not only midday meal, also provision of study material, uniform, cycles, and scholarships. Many things are government providing for the spread of primary education. The main motto is to universalize education. Each and every student must get education. No one will deprived of getting such minimum education, that is primary education. And you might have heard the right to education 2009, and that right to education made a primary education is a fundamental right of the child. So much emphasis has been given on education. So this policy has made many provisions for the spread of education at different levels. Then coming to Acharya Ramamurthy Committee in 1990, and it also recommended, reviewed 1986 policy, and also uh, given emphasis on equity, social justice, decentralization of educational management at all levels, establishment of participative educational order, then ASUPW, value education should be integral part of education at all level. These are the major recommendation of Acharya Ramamurthy Committee. Then coming to the Janardhan Committee, the national, it also reviewed national policy on education and also Ramamurthy Committee. And next you might have listened that the program of action 1992 reviewed the committee policy and also suggested some recommendation on that. Then coming to educational policy making bodies, we briefly discussed about different commissions and policies after independence. Now the another aspects, that is educational policy making bodies who are involved in making the policy. First, you know the constitutional provisions. I have already told you the constitutional provision, Article 45. Then other provisions are there. Article 28, educational wholly maintain the funds for the education. Article 29, no citizen shall be denied admission into any educational institution. Then Article 30 states that all minorities, whether based on religion, language, shall have the right to establish and administer educational institute. Then Article 46, to promote with special care the educational interest of the weaker sections of the people. Article 350, gives importance on special responsibility on the government to safeguard the interest of the children belonging to linguistic minority groups. Then Article 351 similarly gives emphasis on the spread of Hindi language and for its development. Then in this way, so there are 25 regulatory bodies established by the Acts of Parliament to formulate policies on the subjects allocated to them. What are the regulatory bodies? We have to uh, know them. The University Grants Commission, it was constructed in the year 1956. What is UGC and what is its role or function? You might have knowledge about that. Yes or no? Do you
Yes, ma'am.
know?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Give one. Tell me one sentence.
सर जो मैडम गोटे यूनिवर्सिटी खोलिया पाई यूजीसी हमको परमिशन दिए 5 वर्ष पाई
अच्छा अच्छा गोटे यूनिवर्सिटी में 5 वर्ष अच्छा ମୁଁ ତାହେଲେ ଟିକେ କହିଦଉଛି ୟୁନିଭର୍ସିଟି ଗ୍ରାଣ୍ଟସ୍ କମିଶନ it have it frames certain rules and regulation that must be followed by the university, and university provides grants for the development of the institution and provide grants for the salary of the teachers and in development of building infrastructure, many things. And if the rules and regulations are not followed, sometimes it also may not provide the grants. Stop giving grants. Okay. Then we have other regulatory bodies. They are AICT, All India Council for Technical Education, that was constructed in the year 1987. This institution is meant for providing rules, regulation, and assistance to the technical education. Then the National Council for Minority Educational Institutions, Copyright Act. You might have heard the Copyright Act. Now the plagiarism, it is most sounding word now. So if one violate the copyright, plagiarize other writings, then he will come under the Copyright Violation Act. Okay. So that was also framed. Apprentice Act, Council of India, Bar Council of India, Central Council of Homeopathy, Central Council of Indian Medicine, Council of Architecture, Dental Council of India, many more regulatory bodies are there. I am not going to all the names because I want to tell one thing. For all types of education, we have medical science, we have professional courses, we have higher education, secondary education, we have fisheries education, veterinary education. So for agriculture education, for different departments, different regulatory bodies have been appointed or constructed. Okay. Then come to the other part, Ministry of Human Resource Development, Department of Education. You know that the Ministry of Human Resource Development, this ministry, it is at the center level. It control the different departments. It under that we have MHRD, Minister of Human Resource Development. It formulates the education policy according to the national needs and the fulfillment of constitutional obligation. We had 5-year plans. Now it is abolished, but we had 5-year plans, and that past 5-year plans, it was also after the constitution was framed, and in each 5-year different funds are allocated for budget is framed for development or progress of different schemes and programs for education and in other areas of development. So Central Advisory Board of Education, and it is the highest advisory board to advise the central and state government in the field of education. That is CABE. It was particularly, its aim is to review the progress of education from time to time. Then it advise regarding coordination between the central and state government administration. So far as education is concerned, you know that education is in concurrent list. It is the responsibility of both state and center. So you know that the UGC salary, UGC is providing the grant, and state government is also both center and state. They are providing UGC salary to the professors of universities and higher education department of government and universities. Okay, 80 and 20%, 80% center and 20% state government bear the salary of UGC lecturers. So similarly, we have the planning commissions. I have already told you the planning commission 5-year plans, and in all the 5-year plans, these are the policy making body and provide grants, guidelines, and also suggest the developmental process. The Planning Commission, the Prime Minister is the chairman and is the central executive agency for planning process. So, in the planning first 5-year plan to the 12 5-year plan, in each and every 5-year plan, budget financial allocation is provided from primary stage to the higher education stage, and in adult education, non-formal education, and other different departments to professional education, technical education, agricultural, medical, all types of education. So then coming to the advisory institution involved in the policy formulation and implementation. So how advisory institutions are involved in policy formulation and implementation? I have already told you that policy, educational policy, the different types of policies, and what is the role of these advisory institutions. Now, we have NIPA. You might have heard the name of NIPA, National University of Educational Planning and Administration, which is at Delhi, and its aim is to conduct research to plan the policies. The implementation, the system of education, it plans. Then NUPA conducts, sponsors, and coordinates interdisciplinary research with focus on theory, policy relevance methods, techniques, and processes of educational policy, planning, and management. Then we have NCERT, National Council of Educational Research and Training. It has constituted colleges, organization at our Bhubaneswar Regional Institute, and then Ajmer, Bhopal, Shillong. So they are providing professional courses, B.Ed, M.Ed, and also giving training to the teachers, conducting research also, and developing the models of modules, books for different primary stages, primary and secondary stage of education. Next, and now it is conducting also different examinations. Then I have already told you the UGC Grants Commission, it is for the higher education, and this commission allocate and disperse grants to the institution, meet the financial needs, and that maintains the standard of teaching, conduct the examination, and allocate grants for research in universities. Then we have NIOS, National Institute of Open Schooling. And what is the function of this? You are also in the ODL students, distance education students you are. And like that, we have NIOS under this institution. Many students, year after year, are getting the facility of education. Next, we come to the schemes and programs as a consequence of education policy. So, why these schemes and of education? Why different programs of education we should come across? When a policy is framed at the top level, whether this is carried out or not, whether it is implementable or what is its outcome. So, to implement this, advisory bodies are appointed. Okay, do you follow my point? Then, how it will be implemented? That many schemes and programs have been adopted to implement this policy at the grassroots level, ground level. Can you say that what are these grassroots levels? The schools, colleges are at the grassroots level, and who will really the implementer? The teacher will implement at the grassroots level and to the students. So finally the policy can, the outcome of the policy can, the outcome can be achieved, its progress can be estimated, its result can be estimated from when it is implemented successfully at the ground level or grassroots level. So education is a bare necessity for each and every individual of the nation. So non-formal education, what is that? Non-formal education. It is not formal education which is given at the schools and colleges, has some pre-fixed and pre-planned. It has fixed, everything is fixed beforehand. The teacher is fixed, the student is fixed, the time is fixed, and it has certain objectives to achieve, fixed objectives to achieve. But here, non-formal education, it is deviate from formal education. And it was also given emphasis, non-formal education. Why this non-formal education was given emphasis? Now, to provide education, to universalize education, to provide education to all people of this nation, all children of the nation. That means those children who were deprived of getting formal education, they can attend non-formal education, and that will uh, provide the minimum education facility to the children living in particularly village area and remote areas. For that reason, in the National Policy on Education 1986, non-formal education was given priority. The next one is, under that also other programs, that is education guarantee scheme, alternative and innovative education scheme. It is had been evolved with the assistance of Government of India and state government, 75 ratio 75 to 25, to attain the goal of education for all. Goal of education for all, that is IFA, for to achieve IFA, formal, non-formal education both were given priority. Then coming to another scheme, that is Operation Blackboard. I think you might have knowledge about that. Operation Blackboard scheme, it was also introduced in 1986, National Policy on Education. So Operation Blackboard, at least two reasonably large room and two teacher, one will be lady teacher, and necessary study materials. The minimum provision, with this minimum provision, we can take steps to universalize primary education. The next aspect is, then it was also extended that three rooms and three teachers. Next is National Program of Nutritional Support to Primary Education. Now you are related with the term midday meal. So that was also introduced, that nutritional support means the midday meal provision must be made for the children to attract them towards schools. Are they?
Ma'am, that is PM Poshan Yojana.
Yes, now it is PM Poshan Yojana. After, can you say why the name has been changed?
Sorry, ma'am, no idea.
No, yes, I am telling that you might have heard that after coming of BJP government, there is change of names. PM Poshan Yojana. Okay, it is a central sponsored scheme. So that's why the name has been changed. PM Poshan Yojana. मिड डे मिल से कहा ना रही नथिला, किंतु वर्तमान एटा प्रधानमंत्री पोषण योजना हैला लगी। एमती बहुत गुड़े ना चेंज हो जाइए, रास्तार ना हो, लोकसभा भवन हो, बहुत गुड़े ना चेंज हो, खाली से नेम चेंज रे बहुत ओडिशा रे आउ सेंटर रे भी ना चेंज हो। एने जो मिड डे मिल टा होची नेशनल प्रोग्राम ऑफ न्यूट्रिशनल सपोर्ट टू प्राइमरी एजुकेशन, तार माने मुख्य उद्देश्य टा बुझिबार कथा। से मुख्य उद्देश्य टा कोन कहलो, जिंस होची जे व्हाई एट ऑल एम्फासिस वाज गिवन ऑन the nutritional support to primary education in order to attract more number of students and to reduce the dropout rate. Dropout rate रे reduce करिया पे माने गोटे wastage and stagnation, two important term which was also Hartog committee pointed out in 1929. Wastage and stagnation, two important terms, very often occurs at the primary stage. Children leave the school after 1 or 2 years. They 100 students if get enrolled in class 1, their number will be 10 to 15 or less than that at class 8. So so to reduce the dropout rate and to have to achieve the goal of universalization of education, that midday meal provision was there, and now the name has been changed. The same situation is also improving, and the price, the rate of meal has increased, and many changes have been made. Simultaneously, apart from midday meal, other provisions are government is providing. I am already told you that the uniform facility, a cycle, and books, scholarships provisions, all are there to read that education for all or Sarva Shiksha Abhijan, or that is the first name is universalization of primary education. Then coming to another scheme, that is Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya KGBV. So KGBV, it was given, this program was introduced in order to encourage greater participation of girls in education. After making all types of provisions, still it was observed that girls' participation is low. So that's why special provision was made, and many schools were established and constructed in the name of Kasturba Gandhi. There, Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya, and also these were the residential schools at upper primary level, and mostly SC, ST, OBC, and minority community the blocks. These were established. Then coming to teacher education, to empower the teachers, different institutions were also developed, diet, CTs, and IASCs. The Institute of Advanced Studies in Education and the diets and cities. The works of these institutions are to provide training to teachers, to conduct training programs, and to um, create teachers for the to empower teachers and to train them to teach better. And the next is Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan. Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathans, they provide education to particularly to the children of central employees. These Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathans have been established, a large number of Kendriya Vidyalayas in different states of our nation. Then coming to Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, NVS, these Navodaya Vidyalayas will attract the students of the socio-economic, poor socio-economic conditions, and they attract the students particularly from rural areas. Okay, to provide quality modern education, including a strong component of cultural values, environment awareness, and physical education to talented children in rural areas without regard their family's socio-economic conditions. Particularly to attract the rural students. And in Navodaya Vidyalayas, to get admission into Navodaya Vidyalaya, these students qualify the entrance examination at class 6. So it is quite residential, and they get the financial provision to study there, to to stay there. And next is the vocationalization of secondary education at +2 level. It was given emphasis for the reason that to reduce unemployment problem, particularly after completion of 10th class, while one is pursuing +2 level higher secondary stage, he must get education in a skill subject, and mastering that skill, efficiency in that skill will enable him to get employment opportunity. That means no one will remain unemployed. That was the main motto to vocationalize the education. Next, we will discuss about different programs, District Primary Education Project, DPEP, to achieve the goal of SSA, Sarva Shiksha Abhijan. DPEP was introduced in each district of the state. DPEP program, district development of education in the at the district level, and under this project, different district education officers were in charge of that to decentralize the power and to monitor the program, primary education program minutely. The DPEP project was introduced, implemented for that reason. Next, we have National Program for Education of Girls at elementary level. So, this also particularly to increase the interest of girls, of underprivileged and disadvantaged girls from class 1 to class 8. This program was given emphasis for Sarva Shiksha Abhijan, and that what Sarva Shiksha Abhijan, this Sarva Shiksha Abhijan education for all movement was completely a widespread movement, and for universalization of primary education, it aims to provide equal opportunity to all students within the age group 6 to 14, and particularly to provide the quality education in all areas. It extended different educational facilities to reduce the dropout rate, to reduce the gap between sex and among the social groups. Then I have come to the end of this first unit. That is what we discussed. Anyone can answer that what is the what particularly we have discussed? What is the policy? What is the importance of educational policy? And what are the evolution of the different policies from ancient stage to the modern? That is, first at the ancient time, king made the policies and that was implemented for the general people. And then coming to the Mughal period, British period, and after independence, we have many commissions and committees. And then to carry out that policies, we also discussed about different advisory bodies at the primary level, education level, higher education level, and secondary education, and different schemes and programs to develop, to implement our educational policies, to educate the people, and to proper implementation of the policy. Okay, these are all about the unit 1. Then coming to the second unit. Second unit is concerned with organizational structure. Before going to this unit, have any doubt or have any queries? Shall we progress? with second unit. None is interacting. Hello? All are here or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Achha, okay. We shall progress. In this unit, organizational structure. What do you think about this? We have already learned about the policy, the advisory bodies, but how they are organized? What is the structure of their organization? We will discuss about all these things. So now, the many things have been repeat here. We will just in brief. I will introduce all these things. Mm, do you know the very much useful the first sentence of Kothari Commission? The destiny of India is now being shaped in her classroom. This sentence is correct and appreciable for all times to come. Am I right? So the destiny of India is now being shaped in her classroom. Very powerful sentence. Dr. D.S. Kothari was the chairman of the Kothari Commission, and the opening sentence is this. So, classroom, here most important thing he has highlighted that classroom shape the behavior and build a person for the future. Citizen of the nation, teacher prepares him. So here, the educational policy is framed for the preparation of a child in a classroom, and policy frame the curriculum, policy frame the method of teaching, policy also provides guideline how the curriculum will be transacted, examination, evaluation, many more aspects. So the Ministry of Human Resource Development will start with the organizational structure with that. At the central level MHRD, it has various departments and how they function. Ministry of Human Resource Development, it has two departments, Department of School Education and Literacy and Department of Higher Education. So now you might have heard School and Mass Education Department in Odisha. So book has not been revised. Department of School Education and Literacy, it refers to both aspects. One has given important, the literacy aspect is the adult literacy. Shakshar Bharat, now it is named as Shakshar Bharat. Have you heard this name? And Department of School Education, it is related with the school education from preschool to higher secondary. And literacy, it is related with the non-formal as well as the adult education. And the other one department is the Department of Higher Education. So it has the structure, school education structure is related with pre-primary, primary, upper primary. It is also primary and middle, secondary and senior secondary, which is +2. Then next is we have different types of schools. English medium schools, The Central Board of Secondary Education, which is known as CBSE schools. Council for the Indian School Certificate Examination, CISE board. State government boards. In Odisha, we have Board of Secondary Education and National Institute of Open Schooling, NIOS. It is also providing school education to the students. And Department of School Education and Literacy caters to the need of elementary education, secondary education, adult education and literacy. Are you clear? So now elementary education, we will discuss about that. In elementary education, we have elementary education from class 1 to class 8. Okay. And secondary education, class 9, 10, higher secondary, 11, 12. So, elementary education gets lion's share of the allocation for the education sector. Most expenses for lion's share means greater financial allocation is for the elementary education. The 10th plan provides an allocation of 300 billions. You imagine that how much money is spent for the education of primary, particularly at primary stage or elementary stage, because the primary education is the base and it can provide the rudimentary knowledge, the knowledge of 3 Rs, reading, writing and arithmetic, with the basic essential of each and every individual. All people, all students cannot go for higher studies. The minimum knowledge which they acquire from primary education, that can be helpful to manage their life easily. The minimum need can be fulfilled through that. So for that reason, primary education has been universalized and not the higher education or secondary education. Next is under this, particularly at elementary stage, we have the district primary education program, Sarva Shiksha Abhijan, Mahila Samukhya program, then national program for nutritional support of primary education. We have already discussed that, KGBV. So all these things are for the spread of universalization of primary education. SSA objective are all children in school, education guarantee center, alternate school and back to school camp by 2003. Taking this motto, the SSA was implemented. All children complete 5 years of primary schooling by 2007. All children complete 8 years of elementary schooling by 2010. It had also focused that elementary education of satisfactory quality will emphasis on education for life, and it will also bridge gender and social category gaps. Then universal retention by 2010. So SSA, the objectives are very much broad, and the last objective which was given topmost priority, that no child will drop out from any stage of the before the completion of primary education, that is universal retention. And the most important, there are the different aspects are given emphasis under SSA, that free test provision of free textbook, TLE for upper primary, upgradation of EGC, then school grant also are there, teacher grant provision was made for that, teacher training provision was also made, then training of community leaders, provision for disabled children, research, evaluation, supervision and monitoring, These are all the important aspects are given in interventions are given importance. Then the next aspect is we have the strategies of monitoring SSA. So in order to monitor the program of SSA, following strategies were taken into consideration. Community-based monitoring with transparency. So for that community-based monitoring for that region, Block Resource Center BRC, Cluster Resource Center CRC, and Village Education Committee VEC, these were formed for proper monitoring of SSA program. And all these were, they were given, their duties is to monitor the progress of primary education at village level, block level, and also at the cluster level. Then the most important objective was to provide quality education and to provide education to all and to reduce the dropout rates. Then we had also the proper assessment procedure under SSA, Educational Management Information System, selected educational statistics, district information system for education, household survey was also made. So you might have heard that the teacher during the summer vacation, now also Aso School Jiba, this project is launched. Teacher will survey, will make door to home survey, home to home survey, and they will also so that the children, school going children who are not attending school, they persuade them that they also interview, they conduct interview with their parents, and they make them understand the importance of education and the importance of education for their children, and also um, they persuade them and persuade them to bring their children to school to take get admission there and to continue to enroll their children at the primary level. So this is the duty of the teacher during summer vacation. Schools,
Ma'am, recently CTS was done, child tracking survey.
yes. Now it is child tracking survey, and it is aso school jiba. Ei program ta eya bi tar odia re heichi aso school jiba. Teno now in each and every primary school, CRC and the BO, they are all involved in this program, that no child within the primary age group will deprived from getting education. So next is we have joint review mission reports of district primary education program DPEP and SSA. SSA can be fruitful through if the DPEP program becomes successfully implemented. The National Program for Education of Girls at Elementary Level, this program was given priority to attract more girl children towards school. Next is, I have already told you KGVV, then nutritional support program at primary stage, and other is Mahila Samukhya program. More number, this program was for the young girls, the adolescent girls and the women, and they will participate in more number to persuade and to attract the educate to be to make more to attract more girls towards education. That was also given emphasis, and districts with low female literacy, poor enrollment, and retention of girls in the school system, and low level of socio-economic development. and districts where supporting inputs would be available from other development programs like ICDC, Integrated Child Development Service, then integrated rural development programs, district in which dynamic voluntary organizations are working, and women's mobilization and program agenda. Particularly, Mahila Sangha or Mahila Samakhya is the focal point in each village that provides a space where women can meet together and begin the process of reflecting, asking questions, speaking fearlessly, thinking, analyzing, and above all, feeling confident to articulate their needs through this collective action. So, in order to empower women and the adolescent girls, Mahila Samukhya was uh, formulated, and as an innovative initiative in the area of girls and women education, Mahila Shiksha Kendra, they were established. These are residential courses aimed at developing a pool of aware, trained, and literate women at the village level. Mahila Samukhya was developed at the village level, particularly to educate the girls and the women there. Next, we have what is the impact of women's mobilization on girls' education? Particularly, Mahila Shiksha Kendra provides short-term and long-term course for girls while preparing the girls to join the mainstream. Integrated curriculum has been developed to address the extra academic needs of girls. And its aim curriculum includes the developing of creative skills of expression through writing, drama, song, and dance, understanding the gender, and it also focused on the health issues of adolescents, hygiene, reproductive health, herbal medicines. Highlight the environmental or making aware about the environment, governance system, addressing the violence, and also giving vocational skills opportunity for that vocational skills. Then physical education such as karate, cycling, sports, etc. Mahila Samukhya, it was well structured from village level to the state level, and also at the it has also the national resource groups. And it was organized to work for the empowerment of women and girls at the village level. Then coming to the secondary education, we have already discussed about the secondary schools like Navodaya Vidyalayas, Kendriya Vidyalayas, NIOS, etc. Then the central school and the state schools, state board schools. And these main aim of these schools were to provide secondary education uh, from class 8 to um, 12. Then we have other programs like other schools are National Foundation for Teachers Welfare, programs under secondary education, then integrated education for disabled children, integrated education for disabled children, particularly this education is disabled children's education will be integrated in the mainstream schools. That means along with the general children, along with the normal children in normal general schools, these children will get education. Why this was emphasized? To develop their social behavior. They should not feel isolated. Rather, they are the human beings like us, and they they should not be deprived of the mainstream education. That's why now the term is, you can say, inclusive education. They were getting their education in the special schools. Now all types of disabled children, they are getting they have educational provisions with the normal children in normal schools, which is better now say that inclusive school, inclusive education. Okay. Now we have schemes for strengthening of boarding and hostel facility for girl students of secondary and higher secondary schools. Here it highlights that to encourage girls towards education, boarding facilities in residential schools, hostel facilities were provided to them, and government will give assistance, provide assistance uh, for education and also for their support their meal and other finance for living in the hostel. Next is adolescence education program. In adolescence education program, adolescent stage is a very vital stage in the life, and this adolescent program is concerned with to impart instruction to aware them the HIV/AIDS, sex education, how they will prevent them from different diseases like HIV/AIDS. The national award to teachers. Now, before a month perhaps, advertisement was there for national award to teachers. This scheme is given has been given emphasis by central government is to encourage the meritorious teachers. If the teacher gets encouragement by getting national award, then he will be more motivated to perform his duty well, to provide best education to the students. Am I right? What is your view? Then coming to teacher education. To provide teacher education, we have diet, cities, IAC, and SCRTs. Then coming to the literacy program, National Literacy Mission to literate the illiterate. Government launched National Literacy Mission. It was launched in the year 1988 by late Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. The National Literacy Mission aims to ensure that total literacy campaign, that is the post literacy program, successfully move to continuing education, which provides a lifelong learning and also responsible for the creation of a learning society. The main motto of this national literacy program was to create a learning society. So, the illiterate people got the opportunity to make them literate through NLM, National Literacy Mission. The Total Literacy Campaign, TLC, it is the principal strategy of National Literacy Mission to eradicate illiteracy from the society. Okay. These campaigns are area specific, time bound, participative, and also these were outcome oriented. Then coming to the next aspect is Department of Higher Education. Higher education consists of bachelor degree, then an UG level, postgraduate level, or master's degree and doctorate level PhD degree. So for this we have different colleges and universities. We have also the government and private institutions at higher education level, and also IGNO and at the state level also open university, they are also providing higher education. So we have at the higher education different bodies are University Grants Commission. I have told you regarding this, its function is to coordinate, determine and maintain the standards, then release grants for university and higher education level organizations. It is a statutory organization established by an act of parliament in the year 1956. So it provides facilities for NET examination, national eligibility test since 1989, and after getting NET, students are eligible for lectureship and research fellowship, that is JRF. Then the facilities and different states also adopting these the rules and regulations formulated by UGC, and we have professional councils, and another important different um, um, bodies. They are also the University Oscillator Center. Then we have Consortium for Educational Commission. Then Information and Library Network. In FlipNet, you know that National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAC. You might have heard colleges and universities are getting NAC grades B plus, B plus plus, A plus, A double plus. So the institution that are grading NAC, it is assessing or giving grades to the institution. After getting grade from NAC, UGC provides grants to that institution. Then next we have professional councils. Professional councils are responsible for recognition of course, promotion of professional institutions, and providing grants to undergraduate programs and various hours. We have central universities, state universities and colleges. The central universities are under the control of MHRD. They have been set up by the acts of parliament. President of India is the chancellor of these universities. Okay? And president select the VC for the universities, for the central universities. State universities and colleges, state governments are responsible for establishment of state universities and colleges and provide plan grants for their development and non-plan grants for their maintenance. Do you follow my points? Central state government provides two types of grants, plan grants for the development and non-plan grants for the maintenance. The coordination and cooperation between union and state is brought about in the field of education through Central Advisory Board of Education. As education is in concurrent list, therefore both should work together in uh, are jointly responsible for some aspects, and that is brought in the case of Central Advisory Board of Education. Next is that is open university system. You are very well acquainted with this system, open university system, because you are the student of this system, and now it is covering a large areas, and I think many facilities are provided, are gradually growing and providing many facilities to the students in different subjects at the graduation level as well as at the post graduation level, in technical subjects, in professional subjects, as also in the general subjects. So the Open University IGNOU is the largest university. Now it has many students, large number of students are getting opportunity in both UG and PG level, and also um, it's called, better to call, People's University, and it provides lifelong learning to these two people, and satisfying the knowledge need of each and everyone, which is not possible at the formal education system, which is age specific, and also everything is under rules and strict rules and regulations. Then programs at the higher education level. At the higher education level, we have uh, higher education has expanded in different directions. It has the trained professional. Central government is implementing several programs. Expansion of centrally funded institutions. These are IITs, NITs, IMS, and also we have IITs, Indian Institute of Technology. We have these many IITs now. Their number is growing day by day, and Indian Institute of Science, IISc Bangalore, and also it is centrally central assistance is provided to these IITs. And next is IJOR. IJOR also, in order to strengthen science education and research in the country, government has set up the IJORs. Then National Institute of Technology, NITS. 17 regional engineering colleges, RECs. Now the numbers are more, and here government provides grants to spread education, these technology in the field of technology, and the other one is systems of governance of higher education institutions. We have the UGC, we have AICT, and also Association of Indian Universities. Then coming to the technical education, we have All India Council of Technical Education, then Institute of Technology, and also management institutes, then the Institute of Science, regional engineering colleges, and also we have the National Institute of Foundry and Forge Technology, School of Planning, Architecture, National Institute of Industrial Engineering, then Indian Institute of Management, that is IIMS. Next is vocational training. Also, training is imparted in engineering and in non-engineering trades, approved by National Council for Training in Vocational Trades to young people within the age group 15 to 25 years. Then we have also state colleges and university departments. All these were the central government institutions. Center provides grants and for the maintenance, for the development of these institutions. And now coming to the state institutions, colleges and university departments. A number of engineering colleges have been established in different states, and state governments provides grants for its development. The universities and also the private institutions, government institutions. Then we have the general in a state we have also general education, technical vocational education, professional education, doctoral education, and at the higher education level. Now, initiatives and schemes of Department of Higher Education. What are the initiatives and different schemes are under higher education? We have minorities education, book promotion and copyrights, distance education and scholarship planning, Indian National Commission for Cooperation with UNESCO, international cooperation, administration, coordination, policy, statistics and languages, integrated finance division. Then now what are the minorities education? And minorities education, educational provision to the minority communities. So special grants are provided to them for this. Central assistance is being provided to state government for the appointment of Urdu language teachers on a normative basis in block and districts where there is concentration of educationally backward minorities. The scheme of assistance for infrastructure and modernization of madrasa. Then for one of the commitments under the scheme is the protection of the fundamental rights of minorities under Article 31 of the Constitution. Then, keeping with the promise made, a National Commission for Minority Educational Institutions has been established through an Act of Parliament. This is for the protection of the rights of minority communities. Then for book promotion and copyright division, the scheme for intellectual property education, research and public outreach is being implemented by book promotion and copyright division to create awareness among general public, intelligentsia, etc. on IPR, intellectual property right, and WTO studies. Next is our the aim of this Copyright Promotion Act is encourage study of intellectual property rights in the universities and other recognized institutions of higher education, and developing course awareness on WTO matters. Then the next is our development of languages. For this development of language, financial assistance are provided to Hindi to the voluntary organization including Dakshin Bharat Hindi Prachar Sabha and publication and purchase of books. Then scheme of publication and purchase of book in English language, related activities for the promotion of English language, promotion of Sanskrit language, and also promotion of the modern Indian languages, Hindi, Sanskrit, Urdu, Sindhi. For all development and promotion of different languages, the grants are provided and organizations have been developed. The next we come to Indian Language Commission for Cooperation with UNESCO. The institutions eligible for this are governmental, non-governmental organization affiliated to the commission, institutional members, UNESCO clubs, and associated schools recognized under the commission's program of education for international understanding. and other important non-governmental organizations which are significant in getting projects. And the next is the function of this commission is to promote understanding of the objects and purposes of UNESCO among people of the Republic of India, and to disseminate information on the objectives, programs, and activities of UNESCO and endeavor to arouse public interest in them. The next aspect is the international cooperation. It has given emphasis is to for cultural exchange programs and for the uh, various higher education institutions in the country have entered into such arrangements based on the scope and requirements for exchange of scholars, research materials, students, and for conducting joint seminars, training programs, etc. For this to enhance and for better exposure of the people, international cooperation has been given emphasis. Then next is for the scholarship aspect. There are different scholarship schemes. CBSE Merit Scholarship, the objective is to provide scholarship for professional education institute, and All India Pre-Medical, All India Engineering Entrance Examination or central government control aided institution, and many more scholarships are now provided to the students at different levels of education. You might have knowledge about that. The UGC is providing scholarship, that is junior research fellowship, after if someone is getting qualifying JRF, and uh, monthly assistance is now 40,000 or 45,000 SRF. Similarly, ICC are also providing scholarships for the science, and UGC also providing scholarships for the research, to research fellows of different streams. Then we have non-government initiatives. We have non-government initiatives and public-private partnership. Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
My phone call is coming. Okay, okay. We shall continue. Non-government initiatives and public-private partnership. Now, uh, we have NGOs. You might have some knowledge about NGOs. NGOs are doing a lot of work in the field of education, health, and giving scope to the socio-economic aspects, and many activities they are carrying for the society. They are taking great responsibility for the society. So non-government organizations, particularly the non-profit organizations, they are collaborating with the government to make the program, many program successful. NGOs are associated with the various education projects of the government, such as DPEP, SSA, NLM, the National Literacy Mission, Sarva Shiksha Abhijan, District Primary Education Program. With all these things, they are mobilizing community resource for basic education. The main role of NGO is to cooperate the government by mobilizing community resource for basic education. Okay, the government directly cannot reach to the community. So here NGO is very much well acquainted with the community environment. So it has greater help to mobilize the community resources for basic education. Then the next aspect is Government of India has been extending the requisite grants in aid for its centrally sponsored schemes. How these schemes will be properly utilized, that is the lookout of the community. So, the local NGO can help in that direction. And SS emphasize decentralization and community ownership of schools. The community-based approach is adopted for planning at habitation level and monitoring of school activities. So here, participation of the community is out effectively through a series of school-based activities that open up the school as a social institution to the community. I want to share one thing with you that whether community participation or the work of NGO, do you think very much essential or not for the development of community? Definitely yes, because government cannot reach to the very core of the community, cannot assess the need of community easily, which the community can do better. Again, we can discuss about the different case studies have been given in your books. You will go through that for better understanding of NGO work of NGO and community participation or collaboration of community with the government. Then there are many much programs are there, many more programs that is also collaborated with done with the collaboration of international organization like even UNESCO, and also we have different management of education system. Now coming to the most important and the last part of that, what are the management of education system? We have structure of education. Now we are in the second unit, we are dealing with the structure of the system. So we have Ministry of Education, and under that Ministry of Education there are different departments: Directorate of Secondary and Higher Education, Director of Technical Education, University Grants Commission, and similarly for different departments different advisory bodies are there. Then Directorate of Secondary and Higher Education, and then its work is to operate revenue and development budgets and maintain accounts of all these institutions and make arrangements of audit. Then Directorate of Technical Education is one of the government agencies of human resource development of the countries in technical and vocational education. Then we have National Academy of Educational Management, National Curriculum and Textbook Board, then University Grants Commission, and also here also Madrasa Teacher Training Institute. These are also the Bangladesh Technical Education Board, Non-Government Teachers Registration and Certification Authority, National University Education Board, Madrasa Education Board, Technical Education Board, Ministry of Primary and Mass Education, Directorate of Primary Education. So, National Academy for Primary Education. Its aim is, function is to organize long and short-term in-service training for primary educational administrators, supervisors, teacher educators, to develop training manual for teacher training in modular form, to publish newsletters and journals on primary education, and Bureau of Non-Formal Education at national level, a coordinated sub-sectoral approach, policy, coordination and facilitation. Then, and we have projects under Ministry of Primary Education and Mass Education. Then At the non-formal education, post-literacy and continuing education, we have discussed about it. Non-formal education, national literacy mission, everything we have already discussed. Then coming to the end of this unit, so summing of this it, now we discussed briefly about the structure of education, and this structure helps to how formulated policy will be implemented at different levels of education, starting from primary to secondary higher education, and what are the advisory bodies and how they coordinate with the government, and what is the function of NGOs for implementing the program successfully at the grassroots level, and at last we can conclude by saying that for the development of education in the nation, it is highly essential to formulate the policy, and different agencies should be organized, developed to work out the policies, to implement the policies. Simultaneously, under the policies, different schemes and programs have been developed, framed to make the program a successful one, and the outcome and must be outcome based. So this is all about unit 2, and we have completed unit 1 and 2 of block 1. Okay, thank you all. If you have any queries, feel free to ask. Any doubt? We have discussed about elementary, secondary, and adult education literacy. We also had discussed how all these all these programs at different levels will be effective one with the cooperation of non-governmental organizations. What are the central agencies? What are the state agencies? Different types of schools, different types of college, higher education institutions, and private institutions. The motto of all these institutions and agencies are to provide education to all for the development of for social, economic, and all round development of the people. This is the gist of the education, and education always the policy is formulated for the all round development of the individual, and different departments, different agencies work for that. And now there has been a lot of progress in the field of primary education, secondary education, as well as higher education level, because of the formulation of different policies and implementation of different programs. We have now developed a lot in the field of science, engineering, and in general education, professional education, teacher education, and in all aspects of levels of education. Our literacy level has developed. We have got many opportunities and facilities in the field of education by different agencies, center, state, and also in the ODL medium. Okay, thank you all. Any queries? Now time is over. We shall leave. We shall end our session. Okay, thank you. Good night to all. Hello everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
If have any doubt, we'll ask tomorrow. We have also class at 7 p.m. Next, the third unit and fourth unit of block 1. Okay, thank you all.